I'm at the White House right now, but this week I'm going to be traveling with President Trump to Ankara, Turkey for his attendance at the annual NATO Summit.
I just want loyalty. You know, we're so loyal to them. We're always fighting for them. We have thousands of troops all over Europe. In Germany, we have 50,000 troops. And
It is always a fascinating experience to be with the president as he travels to the NATO summit because he's had a rocky and very contentious relationship, not just with the broader alliance, but also with individual countries in the NATO alliance. Now, every country in NATO pledges to spend a certain level of their GDP on defense spending, and President Trump has been angry for years that a lot of NATO countries don't actually fulfill that defense spending pledge. He says the United States picks up too much of the tab when it comes to spending to secure to really assure the security of others in the NATO alliance. So we're going to be watching how he behaves at NATO this week, how he interacts with other NATO leaders, and his attitude towards them, particularly as the alliance deals with very thorny issues such as the war in Ukraine.
$1 trillion in extra spending from European allies since 2016, and a decision allies. Allies will also agree to further increase defense.
Mr. President, how was the meeting?
Anything on Gaza?
Did you make any agreement about F-35?
Anything on Gaza?
Now, we're watching a couple of very specific things to come out of the summit. One thing that we do expect to see is a bilateral meeting between President Trump and President Erdogan. And a lot of that meeting is going to be centered on the issue of fighter jets. This is an issue that has been long running. It dates back actually to President Trump's first term back in 2019. What it boils down to is that Turkey wants to buy these F-35 fighter jets that the U.S. possesses, but Turkey has a separate Russian missile defense system that the U.S. is worried about, basically that the information about the F-35 jets' capabilities could make its way back to Russia because Turkey has this Russian missile system. And this has been a very contentious factor in the U.S. and Turkey relationship, even though President Trump and President Erdogan are very personally friendly themselves. So we'll see if there's any resolution to that issue. It is a very important issue for Turkey's defense economy, for President Erdogan personally. President Trump hinted that he could be coming with a gift for President Erdogan in Ankara at the summit. And this was in response to a question where he was asking, what will you do about those F-35 jets?
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.